Joining me on Newswatch is Sophie Elsworth, media writer for the Australian newspaper. Sophie, how could the ABC so misread that graphic? And do you predict an apology to Kim Minshall for smearing her like that?
Well, firstly, Andrew, no, I don't think there will be an apology. And secondly, there's just been a pile-on, absolutely, by all of the media. They're like sheep. They line up. One person says one thing and then they just follow. And this is concerning in the media, and saying far-right activists, far-right, far-right, far-right. Do we ever hear far left? No, we don't. So I think that dossier, by the way, Andrew, I will say, it looks like a teenage student whacked it together, you know, on their night at home on the computer. It was so amateur hour. But this is where the media is at now, where they all follow each other. They all say the same thing. You know, anti-transgender activist. Was it a women's right activist, women's right activist, or anti-transgender? I mean, this is the difference in reporting that we're seeing across the media landscape. You be the judge of what you think is right or wrong.
I know, when she posts something that says, well, my opponent's a fascist, then suddenly the ABC takes it to mean that she's a fascist. I mean, seriously, there should be an apology, but they won't. You're quite right, they won't. By the way, you know, Sarah Ferguson, who we saw leaping to that conclusion there, is also the one that ran that three-part series on the ABC about how Trump was a sort of a Russian agent, as it were, colluded with Russia to steal the election that he won to become president. False, Sarah. I haven't seen an apology for that either. Now, former ABC presenter John Fain, he has complained about your coverage of a speech that he gave at the Melbourne Press Club. Now, I've now heard a recording of the start of that speech, in which he backed the treaty with the Aborigines, wild applause from the journalists there, told journalists to back Labor's voice, wild applause, and said white people opposed to Labor's model of the voice shouldn't be listened to. Now, the funny thing is that the tweet that he posted complaining about you says just that. This is John Fain, I said white people who think their version of the voice should replace the Uluru Statement from the Heart shouldn't be listened to, which I think is racist. So what is John Fain's complaint against you exactly?
Well, Andrew, on Monday afternoon, I received a phone call from Mr. Fain, and let's just say he was incredibly unhappy with me. He was very rude to me. I won't go into details of the conversation. It's not appropriate. But I will say this, I stand by that report 100%. I've had no complaints from however many hundreds of reporters, journalists, editors, the media contingency that were there on Friday night. Not one person, except Mr. Fain, has contacted me to say that article is wrong. So I stand by my reporting. And if he wants to tweet away and try and get a pile on me, go for his life. But he got up there at this event, he made a political message, he got cheered on by the media. This is meant to be a lighthearted media event, Andrew. He used that platform to champion what he wants as the voice happening. And I stand by my report, and I've got the, you know, quotes and so over from that night. It's 100% accurate, and I have asked Mr. Fain if those quotes are wrong. Those quotes are not wrong. They are 100% correct.
Well, I just think it's really bizarre of John Fain to suggest that a change to the Constitution that affects 100% of Australians, including 97% who are not Aboriginal, should not be debated or discussed, or another model proposed by anyone who's not Aboriginal themselves. That, I think, is racist. Just one last thing on this. It took a schoolgirl last night on the ABC's Q&A to be more properly sceptical than John Fain about this radical and expensive move. Here she is.
Why should substantial taxpayer funds be used to make this referendum occur, with the risk of the voice being merely symbolic, as opposed to investing that money into Indigenous communities through the means of education and healthcare, which would likely create real positive change?
Now, my advice to that young woman is, if you want to go into journalism, avoid the journalism universities, because they will indoctrinate you and knock that good sense right out of you. Am I too cynical there, Sophie?
Well, she spoke very articulately and well done to her. I'm surprised Q&A would have questions like that because it's all one way. But good on her. She's made a lot more sense than the politicians and the people championing the voice and even some of those arguing. This whole debate has become an utter mess. And I think Australians are starting to sit up and listen about this because there are real concerns about it. And a lot of people are yet to make up their minds, Andrew.
Sophie Elsworth, I wish I shared your confidence. Of course, I'll say I told you so if it fails, but I'm feeling always a bit gloomy about it. Sophie Elsworth, thank you for your time.